You're on 100.3 FM, the sounds of MacArthur. Greg Bryant with you for the Aussie Collection Show. It's now time for this week's guest for Acoustics in the Room. Please welcome Matt Sinclair. Welcome.
Hi, Greg. How you going?
Good. Thanks for coming in.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
And can you just tell us a bit about yourself?
Yeah, I'm a singer-songwriter, playing guitar mainly, an old Martin. It's about 30 years old, I think, this guitar. And I'm based out of Wollongong. I've been writing songs maybe for 10 years or so, and I try and write songs with a local kind of flavour. So things that are happening around me that I see.
And how long have you been singing for?
I've been playing guitar since I was a young fella, you know. I was into AC/DC and all that type of stuff, and but writing songs, it's been about 10, 11 years now of going for the actual original stuff. Yeah. And and I really enjoy it. It's writing a song is it's like trying a piece of puzzle together. And, you know, you can put a song together and for some reason it just doesn't fit. All the pieces aren't working out. But when you get it right, it just comes together and you can see the whole picture. So once you get it, it's quite addictive.
And what would you describe your style of music as?
Yeah, that's a good question. Look, it's a singer-songwriter, maybe not so much blues-based, maybe more of a 60s style John Martin English political kind of. It's really. I'll play a couple of songs later and you'll get it. But it's when I play guitar, I like it to have rhythm. Even if I'm doing finger picking stuff, whatever I'm doing, I want it to have a bit of a heartbeat. So it's not really quiet acoustic stuff. It's a bit like Richie Havens, I suppose, from Woodstock.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you have brought your guitar in, so I'd love to hear a live track. What are you going to play first?
Oh, fantastic! Yeah, well, I've got the old girl here, and well, I thought I'd start off with this album, the debut album I put out. It's a few months ago now. It's the end of last year, and I'll play the first song off it. It's called "Gifted Magic," and I wrote this. Oh, excuse me. I wrote this. This was a song. The Wollongong's just started to have a few homeless people come out, and one of these. I was walking past one of these a lady actually. She's a pretty amazing person, and I noticed what she was doing. And as I was walking past, sipping a latte, and she was actually there in the cold, and she was writing what looked like poetry, and she was writing it on rolls of kitchen paper, you know. And I was just blew me away that she can have absolutely nothing, yet she can still find poetry or art out there on the streets, you know. And that was the actual inspiration for the whole album. I'm like, well, if she can do it, and she's got absolutely nothing, you know, I can at least have a shot at it as well. And so this is a song called "Gifted Magic," and it's about her. I don't think she's got a radio player, so I don't think she'll be able to hear it. But here we go. We'll give it a shot.
Here it is, 100.3.
2, 3, 4. So where is the rain? 'Cause I feel nothing but cold and humble, and this heat and dry. What is your name? And why are you homeless? Now what is that language? As I wonder by. Yes, it's out on me. I won't fail to try. And what is that smell of morning afters, of forgotten anger, with a flat white dream in? And what is this gift of pageless notebooks and faceless friends? Oh, with their casual cruelties. Yes, it's out on me. I won't fail to try. There's a sense of gifted magic. I'm trying hard to find. Well, can you hear me amongst this rabble and static oceans? Well, some of us are still swimming deep. And can we be free from scripted madness? When born in discord, we do seem to be. There is a place, a shadow valley, just beneath her skin, behind her eyes. It's a place of wonderment and love, but often madness, where dreams roam free. Though her step outside, oh yes, it's out on me. I won't fail to try. There's a sense of gifted magic. I'm trying hard to find. Yes, it's out on me. I won't fail to try. There's a sense of gifted magic. She's gonna spend her life trying hard to find.
Matt Sinclair on 100.3. That was awesome.
Oh, thanks, mate. Yeah, I quite like that one. You know, you have your favourites.
Yeah. And what artists have inspired you musically?
Oh, well, I suppose I started playing guitar maybe when I was 13, and the reason for it, I got given a guitar for my birthday because for the previous 6 months, I've been jumping around with a cricket bat pretending I was Jimmy Page, you know. I was terrible at cricket, but I wanted to be in Led Zeppelin, you know. And so Mum saw that and goes, oh, we're getting this. So I started playing because of Jimmy Page and Led Zeppelin. And originally I was into heavy metal, you know, so it was all the Ozzy Osbourne. Ozzy Osbourne had these great guitarists, and so I wanted to be like them, but I just was never really fast enough, you know, so yeah. My fingers are too slow. So, and I'd done a bit of travelling around, and I was in Queenstown in New Zealand, and there's a bar there, and there's a guy playing. His name was Paul Jones, and so I went up. I'd never written a song before this. And I went up and I saw this guy, and there's this dude, and he's got this massive afro, you know, and he's half African, half Yorkshire. He's got these green eyes, just an amazing looking dude. And the pub was full of English backpackers. They were all drunk. No one was listening. Well, I thought no one would listen. And within 1.5 songs, you could hear a pin drop. He just shut everyone up, and you know, jaws were hitting the floor with this guy. He was incredible. By the end of the show, there was people standing on tables and jumping off. And this is one guy with an acoustic guitar.
Wow.
So yeah, and the very next day after that show, I wrote my first song, and the way things have worked out, I've actually now gotten to know him, you know. So yeah. And we're good friends now. So yeah, Paul Jones mainly, and through him, I discovered a lot of English folk guitarists from the '60s. So John Martin, who's a big influence. He did a lot of the percussive kind of on the string stuff, and Nick Drake. Bert Yench is a big one as well. So I suppose acoustics where it's at for me now. Really, the acoustic guitar is an orchestra. You can do anything you want with it, you know.
Yeah,
within reason.
And when you do write music, do you have a certain process, or does it change?
No, it's noodling on the guitar. So sitting down, you know, watching TV or something like that. And I think the main thing for a songwriter is to have a good ear and to know when something's good and when something's not, especially your own stuff. You have to be super self-critical. Because when, you know, I went through these old tapes I had of my original songs and they're terrible. And I thought they were the greatest thing ever written at the time. And I'm so glad that was back before Facebook, and otherwise I would have put them out, you know, and they're definitely not worth putting out. So I think being self-critical, what I do, I start off and I don't know what I'm doing, but I'll hear something that my fingers are doing that I like. And from there, if it's any good, lyrics will come into my head. And then it's a matter of fitting these things together in an interesting way. You know, it's easy as a songwriter to fall into cliche. So, which just gets boring for, you know, strum a few chords, verse, chorus, and that. So I always try and mix things up a little bit.
And as you said earlier, you have released a debut album, The Humming Sea. Can you tell us about that album? Yeah,
well, The Humming Sea was inspired by this homeless lady and by my friends and their crazy stories, you know, and so I made a concerted effort because I'm in a couple of other bands, and they get bigger and bigger, and you need drums, you need X, Y, and Z. And I was actually watching a Bob Dylan documentary, and I decided, look, I just want to have an acoustic guitar and vocals and just work on songwriting, you know, so it's not too stressful in the studio. So that's the Humming Sea album. I recorded it over 6 months. I recorded at home. I've got a little home studio, but unfortunately we moved house about 2 or 3 times. So it was really hard to try and keep it sounding like a cohesive piece, you know, because there was in different rooms, different times of the day. I did the best I could, and I'm quite happy with the result. And so those local songs, just about the human condition around Wollongong, really, you know. So that was, I think I put that out around November last year, and already I've written a whole new bunch of songs that I've got the idea for the second album in my head, so I'll be getting into that in the next couple of months.
So we'll have to look out for that when it comes out.
Yeah, cheers.
And can you talk about your other band that you're in, Speak Sister?
Oh, Speak Sister Easy. Yeah, well, that's with my lovely wife now, actually. We met, we formed this band maybe 10 years ago, and it's more of not a pop, but yeah, a bit more poppy than, you know, Humming Sea's a singing songwriter thing. And Speak Sister Easy has drums and bass, and it's kind of dream pop stuff, you know, and but we're so perfectionist, we haven't really put anything out, you know, because we want it to be, you know, Dark Side of the Moon or something like that. So I think we're just we're knuckling down. We're going to book 2 weeks in the studio in July and actually get the album out and tour with that. So, but and I don't sing on that very much. My wife's a singer, so it's good for me as a songwriter to try and write for someone else's voice. And it's really difficult to do it because everything I write I hum it in that and it's in my key, and then Hayley goes to sing it and it's completely wrong key for her, you know, and she's a female. But sometimes that works out fantastically well, and we've got a couple of songs I really like that she just took over, and the female voice works a lot better. You know, she's a far better singer than I am. But
wouldn't we have to come back with her when that's released?
Yeah, that'd be fantastic. Yeah, we'd love to.
And do you have can anyone see any gigs coming up where they can see you perform?
Oh, well, I'd love to get some more coming up, actually. I just did one. Actually, I did the best gig I've done in ages. It was last week, and from the first chord, you know, the crowd just got up and started dancing, and I thought, you know, some gigs are better than others, and this one just went off. And but unfortunately, it was actually at my son's preschool, and they were a bunch of 3-year-olds, you know. But it was a really good gig for 20 minutes. So if all gigs were that good, it would be okay. Well, I haven't got any local gigs coming up for a while. I'm definitely keen on getting some. I'm actually the man that inspired me, Paulie Barnard-Jones. A quick story about him. So I was in Australia and I'm waiting for this guy to tour. He never toured. You know, I could never see him over here. So I'm like, this is just not on. So I crawled through the internet and I found an email address, and I emailed him and said, look, I'll get some gigs in Australia. Come over here. You know, I don't know how I was going to do it, but I said I would. Next thing I get a phone call like 6 weeks later, and it's, hello, it's Paulie Barnard-Jones here. And for me, this was like meeting Elvis, you know. Paul's on the phone to me. So I managed to get him some gigs, and he came over. I actually opened for him, and he was amazing, you know. As a guitarist, you know, we're all a little bit ego-driven and all that, but this guy was just so much better than me. It was fantastic for for me, just to try and not worry about playing guitar or being a virtuoso, just worried about the music side of it, because there's always someone better. And so he's offered me to go over to New Zealand and do a tour with him to open for him. So that'll be coming, where are we? In May. So
wow, that'd be awesome.
Yeah, first overseas gig. And then in July, I've got a couple of mates over in England that are hooking me up some folk club gigs over there. So yeah, that's the gig rundown. I'm also building a home studio at the moment, so there's a lot going on. But if anyone's out there and wants a house concert or something, just jump on Facebook on my webpage.
Is that the best way for people to contact you on Facebook?
Yeah, we got the Facebook thing, and I am doing things. But the thing with Facebook is a bit of a double-edged sword for a musician, because you have to keep updating your Facebook. You can't. I'm kind of lazy. I write songs and I sing and I perform. I'm not really into the computer thing, but the thing, you can't be lazy with it, So Facebook's a good way to contact me. I've also got a website, which is thehummingsea.com. And if you're on my Facebook page, I am doing things. It's just I'm a bit lazy. I'm definitely going to try and be a bit more active on the computer front, but us musicians, we're quite a lazy bunch, really, I suppose. Yeah. So if anyone wants a gig, hook me up. I'd love to play.
Well, thanks so much for coming in.
Oh, no worries at all.
And we're going to finish another live one. What are you going to finish with?
Oh, what should we do? I think I'm gonna play a song called "Get It." No, not "Get It." So wrong. What's about an old man and his dog. It's called "Worth It in the End."
Here it is, 100.3, Matt Sinclair.
And here I am, little darling, hold me now. You're making this old man feel like a youth. And we're still up, it's morning, the sun is out. But this laughter I could use. Hey, I was sending all these letters out. That I needed just one friend. But I got more than I ever dreamed about. I'm happier now than I've ever been. So don't assume, yes, you have to be lonely. Just take my lead, and baby, try your hands. And we may fail more than once, but it'll be worth it in the end. So don't assume, yes, you have to be lonely. Just take my lead, and baby, try your hands. And we may fail more than once, but it'll be worth it in the end. It'll be worth it in the end. She'll be worth it end.
Matt Sinclair there. Thanks for stopping by.
No, thanks for having me, Greg. It was great. Cheers.
100.3